Oh, hey, also, I kind of want to get a little Big Daddy 3D print, dude. I kind of
Yeah.
want like a yeah with like color and stuff if it's possible. If you care to, if not, like I know that's like the I know you don't have shit to do. You got nothing on your plate. But I kind of want to get one because I think it'd be pretty cool, and I really think that Bioshock is kind of a like a big fucking game thing. I don't know. I'm gonna look on Etsy.
What do you mean? So
Like I kind of
sorry.
want like how Kerrigan's painted and stuff. I kind of want to
Yeah.
do like a Big Daddy.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. You want the figure Big Daddy 3D printed.
Yep, I accidentally
I
typed
understand.
Big Daddy doll, and that was the suggested, and that ain't it.
Three, two, one. Backlog.
I don't know why that even showed up.
Early when we were first talking about this, and I had less on my plate, or I was
Hmm.
ignoring all the stuff on my plate. I was thinking about making and sending you something for every game we talk about,
Oh, geez, dude,
and then
that's
and then I
crazy, but cool. And no, you
and then I
don't you do
and then
that.
I realized like, hey, that's gonna be hard. Um, I was gonna make the Wind Waker baton. I was going to send you a scarab from Aladdin.
Look at this
Um,
crazy link.
I was
The
gonna send you a dead kid for Limbo.
Yes, send me a dead kid. Which one would it be if you had to pick? Don't answer that. I think that's a bad thing to answer.
All of them.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, just I think people really like video games and they want painted shit that's not because if you there is no like official licensed Big Daddy
Oh, cool.
figurine.
Really? That's surprising.
Maybe
Bioshock,
Big
Big
Daddy.
Daddy.
Okay, so there's like an ugly one on Amazon for 30
What are
fucking
they? What are
dollars.
they? What's Big Daddy called? It's like Momo. What's the name of it? Like it
Mr.
doesn't.
Bubbles is what the girl calls him, but
Bubbles.
that's her
Yeah.
cute name. It's Big Daddy is the name of it.
Yeah, but I think when you like when you the cursor goes over it, it doesn't say Big Daddy. I think it says Bubbles and Rosie and
Oh yeah, okay, Rosie because they carry a rivet gun. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but their Big Daddy is the classification, and then there's sub versions of it. Big Daddy is what they are, but there's like Rosie is one of them. There's a bouncer too, but they're
Yeah.
called They're all like we're humans. They're Big Daddies. Trust me.
Okay.
I love googling it. I love. Did you see that I put the word daddy in very hard or whatever that you put on your note?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh
when
yeah.
you
Oh
said
yeah.
the
Yeah.
game was so hard, I just put daddy like in tiny, tiny letters. But there isn't like that I'm seeing. There's not like figurines of. There's one official Bioshock 2 Series 2 Ultra Deluxe action figure, Big Daddy Rosie, and it's $210 on Amazon.
Fuck.
That's what I'm talking about. If somebody wants a Big Daddy Rosie, that's what they gotta pay.
There's one on Etsy. It's 3D printed. It looks not very big, but you could scale it up for $25, but normally 30.
Painted or no?
No, unpainted. It's a kit.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like painting shit is
And
where it's
honestly, I
fucking
think
at, bro.
like that would probably be an easier one to paint. Well,
Hmm.
before I say that fully, it's easier in the sense that it's gonna look dirty,
Yeah.
so you can kind of mask mistakes through weathering.
Hmm.
Well, here's the thing. I'm about to, honey, I'm sorry if you're listening to this a long time after this has been recorded, and this is
Uh-oh.
where that stemmed from. I'm looking to buy another resin printer because mine is just, it's too old. It'll function and it works fine, but it's so slow. I can't print bigger things. I want to get back into
You can
resin
edit that
printing.
out. She don't have to
Yeah,
hear that.
no, I'm gonna put it in. I did it for you, honey. I want to start. I want to start doing resin printing again because I mean, hell, remember when I did the Vivi Ortner thing and I could not keep up with orders? there's money in it if I can set the prices right, and people will pay, especially if you paint them. And I would like to start painting, but again, that goes into my lack of time for all the things I want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm interested. But if you have a timeline, I don't know. Depends on how fast you want it. But I do want.
I'm never in a rush for anything, dude.
I definitely want to resin print, and I want to paint stuff again.
I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
Are you typing notes up or anything?
Nope. I'm shooting from the hip, bro. It's Bioshock, right? Bioshock. I didn't write a thing. Bioshock is a first-person shooter. Would you call it a shooter?
Is.
I don't
it's
think
a retro futuristic video game series.
I'm still on the Ori page. I need to get back over. Okay, here we go.
I'm looking right now. We got to pull a little bit of info on it.
Yeah,
I think it's like, where did you get that? Was that from Steam?
Bioshock. Yes. Bioshock Remastered.
Bioshock Remastered. I want to play the other Bioshock games too, but I don't want to be like, welcome back to Bioshock cast. Because like, what if you hate the word daddy and you have to listen to 3 fucking episodes in a row of me saying daddy? Daddy? But I do want to play the other games in the series because I've heard Bioshock Infinite was really good.
Same. And I'm hoping the issue I had is rectified in farther ones, because I think it was just a lack of just like you're on a quest, a lack of direction and a way to find where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, we'll talk about all that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to add in a note now that you mentioned it. Let me close out.
So while you do your notes, I'm going to wing this one.
Notes are done.
All right. So, welcome back to 321 Backlog, the podcast where we play and discuss games from our video game backlog. My name is Alec, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend James. How you doing, James?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited to talk about this game. How are you?
I'm great. We are talking about Bioshock. We played the remastered version, at least I did.
Yeah, I did too. I don't really know why, but I did. That's the one I picked.
So, a little bit about the game. Bioshock is a shooter.
Unlike any you've ever played.
That's what we're going to do.
Loaded with weapons and tactics never seen.
So pulling from our Steam page here, Bioshock is a shooter unlike any other, loaded with unique weapons and tactics. Complete with an arsenal of revolvers, shotguns, grenade launchers, players will be forced to genetically modify their DNA to become an even deadlier weapon. Came out in 2007 by 2K Boston, and I believe they also were the publisher for this game as well. The remaster came out in 2016, which is the version we have played and we'll be talking about today. But as far as I can tell, the game itself, the storyline is the same. It just kind of got ported in for a better playing experience.
Yeah, I think that there might have been a couple other changes, but I'm not. I feel like they're probably so insignificant. I think they updated it and made it look better. I don't think there was very many.
Yeah,
changes.
I think mostly it was just features like they support 4K resolution in the remastered, so stuff like that. Quality of life, I think, would be a good way to put it. So
I think there might have also been like commentary added to it. I remember picking up a couple of these like tape reel things with some commentary on them.
Yeah,
I tried watching one after I beat the game, and I just fell asleep. But
I was collecting them left and right, but I never played them. I think I played one by mistake. And I don't think I could skip it because I was like, oh, I didn't want to play that. And it just kept talking at me. So,
yeah.
Other than that, it did receive a 80 score from Metacritic, so it was a very popular game. I had this on my radar for a while, and over the recent years have been seeing the remastered came out. Then they had the Bioshock 2, and then we get into Infinite and all that. And I've always been interested, but whenever I start some of these games, I like to see where they came from. So I wanted to go back and see where it started.
Yeah.
Had
You had
you-
kind of a cool story about how you tried to play this game and you just noped
Yeah,
out.
I think when we teased what we were playing next, I'm not a big horror fan in like a media for a media genre. I don't like
Right.
horror movies, games, nothing. Right. So I think the first time I tried playing this, when you initially get into the building, and I don't remember it the same as I did before, so I might have been misremembering a little bit, but that's the feeling I got. The moment you finally get control of your character after going in this like little elevator into this first building you encounter, you come out of this like a elevator type device, or you're trying to, and there's this
bathysphere.
like, yeah, and there's this like blood curdling women screaming, and it just gave me such like an eerie, creeped out feeling of just like right off the gate. It was like 0 to 100, like right away.
And she
And-
tries to kill you, I think, too.
yeah, and now remembering it was one of the enemies that couldn't get in the thing. That's where the noises were coming from. That I had kind of forgotten that little detail. So
Is it someone new?
I had written this game off,
Just noped right out.
and yeah, and then seeing more stuff come out, I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. I'm older now. I could handle it. And I thought all the NPCs and not NPCs, but the enemies that you encounter, I thought they were like undead zombie type things, and now I don't quite know.
I think they're just like, you mess with your DNA enough, you kind of go insane. Kind of.
Yeah, so I was a little confused, kind of playing through. I ran into an issue a couple hours into playing where, I mentioned this in our Ori episode, kind of bouncing between two different games.
Yep.
Something happened in this one, and I can't. I'm kind of stuck, so I can't really progress any further without restarting entirely. So I think I got a good bit of it. I think you ended up finishing the game. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Okay. So had you played any of the Bioshocks before this little playthrough?
I've played this one a tiny bit. I got the fire plasmid, and I was like, man, this game's pretty good. And then I'm never going to play it again. But I think I always tried playing it when it was a time where I wasn't going to be able to sit down and really like actually put the time into playing it. And I didn't. I know a lot of people really like the story of this game and the atmosphere of it, so I didn't want to not give it its fair chance. So I just kind of backlogged it.
Yeah, you're just talking about altering the DNA, the mechanic in this game of it is a shooter, and there are weapons, but the altering your DNA bit is kind of you inject this stuff, and it gives you like the ability to like do a like a shocking grasp or a fireball from your hand kind of thing. Did outside of the times where the game like made you use them for like different puzzles or something, did you use it, or did you favor the guns more?
I favored the wrench, man. I love melee in a game, but yeah, I did use it. There's a lot of points in the game too where I think you could get stuff that maybe if you were kind of scrounging for ammo and stuff, you would kind of look for it more. But there was like frozen things where you could melt them with the fire plasmid, and then you would like, if you melt the ice, this was like all over the game too.
Mhm.
You melt the ice and then there'll be ammo or something in it. And you would know that you could do that because you would see part of a gun sticking out or something. So yeah, I did use them, and I especially did the 1-2 punch where you do the plasmid and then you go up there and smack them in the head with a wrench.
I think I've played so many your classic shooter where the thing that you're shooting is a gun that I think just from like familiarity, I favor the gun the most. The shotgun in particular.
Oh yeah, dude,
Good
give me that
gravy.
shotgun.
Oh man.
I like things personal, dude. I want things to be very personal, so I'm either gonna use the wrench or a shotgun.
I think
at
the
any
wrench is
opportunity.
it's there. You keep the wrench the whole time for like I think backup to be honest with you, but I don't think the game is made. It's not optimized to go wrenching everybody.
Well,
So
there's kind of yeah, man. I think the higher difficulties of this game, I think ammo is pretty scarce. So I think you get to be a bit of a monkey wrench kind of guy.
yeah, what difficulty did you end up playing on?
Dude, I'm ashamed. I was on normal for the start of it, and I actually dropped it down just because I think I probably could have done it if I was on my PC. I probably could have done it on normal, no problem. But using a controller, I had to drop it down to easy because I was like running out of health kits like crazy, and I don't think I
Yeah.
realized you could really explore and get extra because by the end of the game, I had like 9 of everything. Like I was like maxed out, but
Yep.
in the
Even
beginning, I was still figuring it out, you know. But I dropped it down pretty early on.
Yeah, even on easy, I encountered one of the big daddies. We should have a daddy counter. I encountered the
Are we at
Mr.
one
Bubbles
now?
or Rosie. I encountered one of them, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to take this thing on," and I almost got one hit, like one
Yeah.
shot. It was pretty rough. So even on easy, you can't really take it for granted. It's pretty rough. So
There was like one thing I liked about it was that you don't auto use the med kits. It's not even in my notes, but just mentioning that, like if you do encounter one of those and you're almost dead, they
Yeah.
will one shot you.
Yeah, I thought it would. I misunderstood the health bar. I thought it would just go, oh, you know, once you have 9, you'll go down to 8. And nope, that's not. You got to do it yourself. So,
Yeah. Kind of a little wake up call.
but yeah, I did favor the guns.
Yeah.
So,
So your favorite weapon was the shotgun?
oh, for sure. I definitely I ran out of ammo too often though, which is kind
Yeah.
of frustrating.
If I had to pick a favorite gun, it was definitely easily the shotgun, especially with like the exploding. You could get exploding ammo
Yes.
for it. Yeah.
Yes.
What about your did you have a plasmid that you preferred? Because I think when the game opens up like in the future you get a lot more stuff. But did you have a favorite plasmid?
Um, I think I used them so little that I don't think I had a favorite. I think I enjoyed the fire one. I think it functioned. I believe the lightning one was like a beam of lightning from your hand.
Yeah, it was
But
kind of a
the-
stun effect.
Yeah, but the fire one, you kind of like snap your fingers, I think, and it just appeared wherever you were looking. So it wasn't like, you know, your traditional like D&D fireball where it like shoots
Right.
from your hand and explodes. It kind of just appeared there. So I think kind of sneaking up on enemies and stuff, and I think I just liked how that one functioned a little more.
Dude, I never used the telekinesis one, like ever.
Yeah, I think I got it and I tried using it, and I think the controls confused me.
It was just
So I stopped messing with it. I
Never
think there was
used it.
one boss, or I don't even know if they're really bosses, but there was one enemy you had to. I think you had to use the telekinesis.
yeah, they're
to
throwing
defeat them.
grenades at you, and you have
Yeah.
to open an entrance. But yeah,
And
that
that
was
took
it.
me a minute to find out because I was like trying to like jump and shoot at like weird angles. Nothing.
I
worked. You
actually,
had
I,
to-
I think I accidentally killed that guy initially, and I think he respawned or something. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think I accidentally just like electrocuted and then shot him, and didn't even realize what I was supposed to do. But
Yeah.
one thing I did like about this game, and I feel like they've all like really have done a good job. I just sent a picture in the Discord. They kind of show you the setting of it a little bit. Like you can tell it's old timey, but you see the Happy New Year sign. It says 1959, like pretty early on in the game.
Yeah.
I like that a lot because it's like, you know, you don't have to like they're not telling you like the year is 1959. Like I always say it and I'm never going to stop saying it. I just want the game to show you things. I don't want to be told anything about the game, and I like that.
No, I agree.
Did you in your
Go ahead.
playthrough, did you have an arrow showing you where to go though? That's like that's a question. In a lot of the segments of the game, did you?
No, I don't think I ever did.
See, that's the one thing. I don't remember that being in it when I tried playing it the first time, but randomly an arrow would pop up and like point me in the direction, and I have no idea why or where it came from or anything. But it
Oh,
would
actually,
just
I think it was when you were on specific quests where there
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a clearly defined location you had to go or a path you had to take. I do remember having it, but I think it was oriented in such a way that it was easily ignorable.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I did notice that. I wasn't like it wasn't immersion destroying or anything, but
Right.
I did notice that. I thought maybe that was kind of cool. If you could turn it off, I would appreciate that maybe. Or if it wasn't on by default.
I think being able to toggle it would be nice.
Yeah, there was a couple things in the game that I really did like, though. I felt like it pointed in the direction that you needed to go, especially early on, without telling you. You would see, like, if you go to the dental place, there was a sign in the game that said, like, if you get dental work done, you get a free plasmid, which is insane to think about, right? But there was a sign advertising you could get the telekinesis plasmid
Right,
if you
right.
had a root canal done.
Oh, interesting.
Which seems like, yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. You just
Yeah,
get
so-
some DNA altering injectables if you get dental work done. There's probably a COVID vaccine joke in there somewhere, but we're not gonna.
Get the jab, you'll have magic powers.
Steady now. Your genetic code is being rewritten. Just hold on and everything will be fine. You alright, boyo? First time plasmid's a real kick from a mule. But there's nothing like a fistful of lightning now, is there?
Okay, one thing I've on the internet, I've always read the words "Would you kindly," and I knew it was from a video game or a show. But have you ever read that, like in forums or something? People just saying like "Would you kindly," and then, but they're saying it like ironically, like they're quoting this game,
I
but you
can't-
didn't know.
I can't say that I have.
I've seen it, and another thing is the cake is a lie or something is a lie. I know that's from Portal, but I never knew
Oh.
"Would you kindly" was from this game. But I've read it a lot, and I've always thought like what is that from? And then when the guy says it, he says it over and over again. Can't imagine why he says it so much, but that was like one thing I was like, oh yeah, that's where that's from. That's kind of cool. Good internet culture worming its way in.
That's awesome. No, I did not notice that. I think the only game, I think the only version of that I see or am aware of is like the press X or F to doubt or something,
Oh yeah, like pay
or
respects
F,
with
F to
F.
pay respects. Yeah,
I see like this is tangent cast here, but I see a lot of the Mandalorian stuff too. Like this is the way or whatever.
Of
I
course,
guess it's all over the place, but yeah.
I have spoken.
What's that from?
It's Mandalorian.
I've
And
never seen it.
I think
man.
it was season one I think it was season one. He met this little hermit guy, very funky, but he spoke very odd, kind of like how Yoda spoke, but not exactly, but just in a weird way. And whenever he would have like a definitive, like, okay,
Like a
this is what
bootleg yoga.
this is what it's gonna be, he would say, "I have spoken."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
Like
cute. He did.
like putting a period at the end of the sentence.
Yep, he died. So,
Oh man.
oh no,
Oh no. I was gonna watch it.
oh man,
I was gonna watch it right after this.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this thing? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
I do like that. So, are you? We're gonna take a second. Are you putting notes in currently, or was that just?
yeah, I was trying to just think of things. I need to read your notes and just look at it.
What Big Daddies?
This Big Daddies.
Well, yeah, Big Daddies, man, they're everywhere. You can't get away from all them daddies. There's like this scene kind of early on again where you encounter a dead Big Daddy, and there's just a bunch of the Splicers just beating the crap out of it with wrenches and stuff.
Yep.
That to me, like I knew at that moment that you can kill a Big Daddy at some point, but it was cool because they almost initially they seemed like there's no chance in hell that you're going to be able to kill one of them.
Yeah, I always had the impression that
Like the
there
end
was
boss was going to be a Big Daddy.
that there was only one.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
didn't know
And
there was
so
a
then
bunch
you
of
see a
different
dead one.
variations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I like that the game's kind of showing you like they can actually die. Like there's even just like a regular person apparently can take a Big Daddy down.
Yeah, is it ever explained what exactly it is?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, man. That's what I mean. The game got really good like near the end of it. There's
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to actually just go ahead and restart it or watch a. Most likely I'll watch a playthrough online because I don't know if it's a glitch, but I just got stuck and I can't really continue without redoing everything, and I really
Yeah.
don't want to.
I feel like you got kind of far enough though, from what my understanding is that you
Yeah.
kind of you got far enough to know how the game plays and everything. Look at the last picture I just posted for you there. I want you to look at that and read that out loud for everybody.
So you have the option to.
Nope, it's not the option. You got to do all the above.
What is this for?
That's
That's
the
a goal?
direction this game goes, dude.
Become a Big Daddy, smell like a Big Daddy, sound like a Big Daddy, or look like a Big Daddy.
No, it's not or, it's and.
And
Oh yeah. You have to, yeah. So they explain the process of it later on in the game. There's a part where you have to enlist the help of the little sisters, and you have to kind of become a Big Daddy. It's kind of ambiguous how far you go, but essentially that armor and everything, they're people. And they're not volunteers, I guess. It's kind of understood. They're like forced to do this. They protect the little sisters, and they're like human men, I think. Yeah, they're human men, and they like this armor is actually fused in as part of their skin, and they're kind of existing to protect them, and also I think carry out some of the tasks other than just killing. I think they actually do some kind of maintenance and stuff too. They're like apparently they stink really bad, like they have this terrible smell, and they sound like they're just suffering and in pain all the time. So you have like a voice modulator that changes it, but you do have to. That's like right near the end of the game.
oh wow.
You basically go through the process of becoming one just to get one of the little girls to help you, and it's kind of gnarly, man. Like
Yeah, that was, and I think the artwork between the main Big Daddy, which I think was Mr. Bubbles, and the first little sister you encounter, I thought that's what led me to like, oh, that's like an undead. The little kid already looks like a corpse to begin with.
I think they kind of not quite are,
or they're like infected with something, because you could do it. You could do a thing where you could either like remove whatever is infecting them, or harvest it.
What did you do?
I did a mix.
Oh, you're nasty. You're a bad person.
Or I don't know, because honestly, because I was curious.
Yeah, no, I was too, but I googled it. I'm not. I watched a video of someone else with the balls to do it.
Because I don't think the game really did a good job. Because you like encountered an NPC that was like, hey, don't mess with the little sisters.
Yeah.
And they didn't really explain what the heck was going on. So I was like, well, it gives me the option.
It comes out with like audio logs and stuff, and just generally later on in the game you get an idea. So this atom, which is used to give people power, is harvested by, I guess, like they plant like this slug thing inside it. It's oh, it's nasty. They plant like this slug thing, and only in girls. It seems like it doesn't work in boys, and it has to be like children. And then I think it like almost uses their body as a host, and the byproduct is this atom.
Right.
And so then they had to use the Big Daddies. Like they trust them, like they like the smell of them, like so that's what they trust. And then I think they harvest the atom from these little girls. And what was your question? What are we talking about?
I think it was just that they didn't explain what the heck was going on.
Yeah, okay. And then I think you can either like put an anti-parasitic on them and cure them, or you can rip the slug out of them, basically, and harvest more like extra atom. But you get more if you don't. In the long run, it's way better to not kill them, because you get less atom like in the moment, but it pays off more, because I think you get unique plasmids and stuff if you save them all. So
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I guess it didn't explain it enough. It was like, hey, just don't do that or blah blah blah, and it didn't really help me with that. So I was really
Well, there's a
confused.
yeah, and you got the one guy being like telling you to kill them because they're not people anymore, and then you have the woman
Yeah.
telling you. So there's more to that too. That guy is a piece of shit.
So was that the guy that we're trying to end up getting to for like the through the
No,
transmissions?
no, yeah. So that's the guy. Yeah, he's your friend in the beginning, and he's telling you like how to do all this stuff, and you go to save his family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Family's not real. He's actually like a just a bad guy that's plotting to take over the entire city, and he's using you. It's deep, man. There's a lot to it. Would you kindly is actually a mind control term that he developed for you specifically.
Oh, interesting.
So when yeah, every time he tells you would you kindly, you're not acting on free will. You are doing what he's telling you to do because you have to. And then eventually you encounter, hey, spoilers guys, this game is really old. Eventually you encounter the guy who created Rapture and he tells you like, would you kindly kill me? So then you kill him. And he's trying to prove to you that you don't have free will, but he does because he's telling you to kill me. He's not going to let someone else say like it's time to die or anything. Like he's telling you to kill him. So you kill Andrew Ryan because he like basically forces you to do it, and he keeps saying like oh, there was a quote he says it during the time that's like a big quote with this game. A man makes his own choices or something. A man chooses, a slave obeys, and he's telling you you're the slave, he's the man. He's making it his own choice to die because he has free will still. And then
Okay.
and then you become a big daddy. End the game. It's a really good story. You got to come back. You got to go back and play it because we're gonna play the sequels too. So I
Yeah,
trust
definitely,
that you.
definitely.
Would you kindly finish the game?
Bye. Yeah, I'll need to. I think I may just need to restart it, or
Play
I don't
it
know.
and stream it to me, or play it, and like
Yeah,
maybe I can give you a little bit of active guidance, and we can be like a couch go
yeah.
up kind of
But yeah,
scenario.
we're like we said in the last episode, we're gonna start breaking it down to just do one game at a time.
It'll help,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
it's definitely gonna help manage it. So I'm not bouncing between two different things. I also switched controllers in the middle of it, and I think my key bindings changed. I
Oh,
swear
that's
they
weird.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real weird. Because I vaguely remember like hitting one of the directional pads for like the map, and then now it was like a bumper or something. It was really strange.
Oh,
Um,
just so you know, in Steam has like a really, really good controller interface. I've learned
mhm.
where you can basically remap an entire a controller to do anything that you want. It's very
Okay.
good. It tells you like it'll show an on screen and say what button is B on your controller, and then you just hit it.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, in the future, if you have that problem, next time you plug in, that's
Yeah.
a really Steam has done a great job, and I feel like a lot of that stems from the Steam Deck, which I highly advocate for anybody with a backlog.
Yeah, I need to get one. What else? So
Would
so
you
I guess
kindly?
would you kindly buy me a Steam Deck? Ha!
Oh, you gotta do it.
Oh.
Add to cart. Check out. I've been
So
had.
so we have been talking about spoilers,
Yeah.
and it is a game that's had a bunch of iterations already, and I don't think we're gonna need to really worry about a spoiler wall like we did with Stray.
And I feel like that's also that's another part of the evolving format. We're talking about this under the assumption that anyone listening either doesn't, in my opinion, either you know the spoilers or you've played the game as well because you listened to the last episode. So I'm kind of talking in the assumption that most people have played through it and want to know what's going on, want to hear a discussion, be part of it.
Yeah, I agree. I've been listening to Adam and Kieran. Shout out to the good, the bad, and the backlog. Great podcast. And almost 100% of the games they have run through, I have not played,
Oh
but
yeah,
I've enjoyed their discussion on it. So
it's good.
I
Yeah,
I think there's gonna be a good mix because I've listened to probably half of their nearly 100 episodes,
are you cheating on me?
and yeah, I love their accents. You guys sound great.
They probably love ours too.
No, so I think there's going to be a mix of people
Yeah.
that have played and that haven't. So giving a little context would be good, but just know that there are going to be some spoilers. We'll try to just give you that brief heads up. But so this is like set in a like an
Dystopian.
alternate dystopian like 1960s,
1959. Happy New
59.
Year.
Okay,
Yep.
I was wondering if maybe that New Year had already passed, so put us into the 60s.
I think that
but-
like that was really like when it went downhill. I feel like New Year's was just kind of the twist, the turn of the.
So you the game starts out with you coming out of like a plane crash in the ocean, and there's just this massive tower poking out of the sea.
What a
And-
coincidence.
Yeah, of course. So you're in this area purely by happenstance,
Or are you?
or are you, right? So I don't know. I think my thoughts on this game initially just were very different playing through.
Well, I mean, did you initially think it was going to be a horror game, like straight up?
I guess I didn't know what I was really getting. I knew
It's kind of
the
cool,
atmos-
right?
Yeah, the atmosphere was going to be creepy, so I knew it was going to be creepy in some sense, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I just didn't know to what flavor of creepiness there was, and it was still confusing because I didn't get all the way through the story. It was still confusing, kind of figuring out like these inhabitants that are like attacking you for no reason. Were they just people that were living there? Why don't they attack each other? I'm sure they do at some point because there are corpses everywhere.
Yeah.
But also,
I think
why
everyone's went insane.
why do they have like pig masks on their face? Why
I
are
think
they?
that's part of the New Year's thing.
Was it like a
think so.
masquerade ball or something?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's very strange. I think I probably should have.
It also just it's an excuse for creepy shit.
Very true. Yeah, they had like a purge feel.
Oh
for those
yeah,
masks and
before the
stuff.
purge, hopefully.
Yeah, and I guess from and I'm my how my brain is constructing this conversation is all over the place. But we were talking about the relationship between the Big Daddies and the Little Sisters. So the
Yeah.
Big Daddies were like implemented by the city themselves, like the city itself.
Yeah, I
for
think
like maintenance and drilling and all that stuff.
yeah, and then protecting the Little Sisters because they
Were they put in place for the Little Sisters, or did it just happen to coincide that the Little Sisters found them comforting, so they just said, "Well, we have them. Let's go ahead and pair those up," or were they?
I think it was for the Little Sisters, I believe.
Okay. So yeah, it was weird. And the Little Sisters, they kept coming out of these like weird vents. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I
what
guess
was-
that's how
what
they
was
get
that?
around so that it's one of the ways they can get around easily because the people in the city are trying to kill them and take their atom from them.
Mhm.
So they needed a way for the Little Sisters to be able to get around easily.
That's so strange.
And it is weird too, because I noticed this and I didn't know why until I looked it up after the game. The Big Daddies, when they're unaccompanied by a little sister because they've already been saved and the Big Daddies respawn, they'll like walk around and just start banging on the little vent thing. Like they
Yeah.
like want them to come out. So I think there's like a little bit of a codependence type thing there too.
I noticed that, and because I saw some, and I was like, "Well, where's your little barnacle? Where's the little girl at?" And I guess I didn't realize that there was a respawning aspect to those.
Yeah, yeah. I like how they're not really aggressive unless you provoke them or
Yeah.
you get too close to the little sister. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool. I feel like the Big Daddies are like the mascot of the series for sure.
Oh, definitely. I ran into a couple instances where some of the hostile combatants would come through, and I'd start shooting them and accidentally clip a Big Daddy,
Yeah.
and then they get in the fray, and that was rough.
Dude, I asked you what your favorite plasmid was. I
Mhm.
have two. It's separate occasions. There's one where you can actually like make a Big Daddy friendly to you.
Oh wow.
And it's like this they'll get lit on fire and they just sort of like burned up and still fighting.
Ah,
And then
that's pretty cool.
eventually they turn back to a regular Big Daddy, but they don't immediately go hostile. So that was pretty cool because then like there's one or a couple parts where it's much more open And you just have like a big daddy protecting you, running around, and he's huge and he stomps around all the time. The whole screen shakes.
Right.
And I mean, they can take a punishment. And then another one was bees. It's like
Oh, the
you
bees.
oh man. Like so I guess that you get it around that time where you do the bee part, but there's actually a bee plasmid you can get, and it's kind of like a homing damage over time. It goes from one thing to the next. And early on when you get it, they'll stop and it kind of freezes the enemy and they're like swatting at the bees screaming. But eventually it's almost useless because they like everything just shrugs off the bees and they don't really care. But those were my two favorite. I really liked being able to have like the assistant Big Daddy,
Hmm.
and the bees were cool. It was really nasty too because the image of your hand like just stung up by bees and just like pustules everywhere. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah. I'm hoping in the because I favor the guns because the plasmid swapping those around and all that was I guess slightly more complicated than just swapping between like a pistol or a shotgun to me.
Did you have if you hold it down, you can like use a little
Yeah,
dial?
yeah, I get that. I think it was just like slightly weird enough to like they had like talents and things and or like different what am I trying to say? There was like these vending machine things where you could like make adjustments to your abilities.
Yeah, yeah. Or buy
And
them.
or buy them, you know, and I think it was that whole thing. There was something about it that didn't feel, I guess, seamless or intuitive enough, and I
Okay.
can't quite articulate it, but it just put me off. So I didn't really use them much. So I'm
The
hoping in
issue,
the other games maybe it's just I don't know maybe a little more seamless on how you get them and how you alter and use them. There was just something about it that was off for me.
the issue I had initially with the plasmids was like when you can upgrade them, I didn't want to use up that resource because I was like, I was like afraid to spend money basically because I didn't want to, upgrade one and it sucks or buy a new one and I don't like it. And you also have so many slots. So like what if I upgraded telekinesis because I thought it would be better and it
Hmm.
never gets better. So I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of weird. But then as I got kind of further in the game, I had all this Atom and I wasn't spending it. So I just said like I'm gonna try them, might as well. And I feel like it made the game open
And
up a lot more.
I think I checked out slightly mentally when I mentioned it on the last episode. I had a lot going on. I think when the explanation of the atom, which for those that don't know was spelled ADAM, like the person's name, on what the heck it was, I don't think I fully grasped what atom is. So I
I
was very
Yeah.
confused when I went in. I would go like to different areas and like, hey, the game would tell me you don't have the recommended amount of atom for this area. I'm like, what? What am I supposed to do about that? You know, it was
Right.
very strange. I don't think I quite grasped what that is.
I guess it's I mean, it's essentially currency. I don't know if there's like a
Is it
biological component to it, but it's a
like
currency. There's vending machines where you buy the atom or you spend the atom.
like dollars and cents, or are we talking like
Yep.
mana?
Like, yeah, a currency like dollars.
Okay.
And Eve is the mana bar essentially, which
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I was getting confused.
Yeah, I think
Um,
atom is like a resource used in the game. There might be like a literal description or like a more tangible description of what it is, but I believe it is definitely a currency, and in the lore it might be like genetic code to unlock new plasmids or something.
okay.
So but they introduced a vending machine thing to allow you a little bit of flexibility with how you play it and what you get.
Okay. So yeah, I think what I am gonna do, yeah, I think what I am gonna do is I'll watch a playthrough and maybe pick up where I left off,
Mhm.
and then get us ready for the next game whenever we decide to get to it. So,
Yeah,
uh,
if you do want to, if you just get the itch to play it, because I want to play the other ones at some
oh, for
point.
sure.
Why don't we like you stream it or something, and we'll like I'll kind of watch you play it too, because I
Yeah,
feel like that would be kind of cool, and then we could further the discussion maybe a little bit, just for the fun part of it. I don't know.
yeah, definitely. I think that'd be a good idea.
Do it for me. I want to say Big Daddy to you more.
We got to get a counter and maybe
I
say how many daddies we saw.
we'll do it in the edit. You know, you could just
Yeah.
edit like count how many, and then just
Love
disclose
it.
it at the end.
Daddy counter. Love it.
So
Love it. Love it.
yeah, there was a couple. I feel like we're a little bit disorganized in our discussion here, but that's not new.
I don't know what you mean.
There was another when we were talking about Adam and stuff like that. There was another plasmid that I think I either found or I bought, but it lets you heal with a wrench. Like you hit somebody and you steal a little bit of health with the wrench, and I think that might be another reason why I did use the wrench so much, because you could just go in and just like bash people's heads in and heal through it,
Okay.
which was kind of cool. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, man. I liked I feel like the plasmids are what made the world seem unique.
Yeah, and I think I got to a max of 3 of them.
I think I ended up with 5 at the end, 5 or 6.
If there was a freezing one, then I got 4, but I had the electric, the
Yeah,
fire,
there was a freeze. Yeah.
the levitating, and I think I might have gotten freeze right before I stopped playing.
Yeah, eventually you can get it through vending machine things. I think there's the bees
Okay.
one, and I believe there were there were a lot of hacking ones. We got to talk about that. Did
Oh,
you
man,
like the hacking mini game?
No,
Hated
I didn't. I didn't. I got a bunch of auto hackers.
Yeah,
and I
dude,
I kept using those.
Or I would pay if it wasn't like too much money. If
Yeah.
that thing, if it used it at the beginning, if it was like a really difficult hack, I would just auto hack it. But then eventually, I'll pay for it or I'll auto hack it. I didn't care. Money was not a problem in the easy.
Here's how much I didn't like it. I remember the feeling of the first time I did it. I was like, this is
Mhm.
terrible. I never did it again. I could not honestly tell you what the hacking minigame looks like or what you did anymore.
It's the I'll tell you
Because it was so bad. I was like, no, I'm never doing this again.
yeah, it sucked. It was a pipe of flowing water.
Yes,
And
it's
there's
that.
yeah, and
It starts
it's
so
what is that?
fast.
Minesweeper? Yeah. Well, I also think like we played with controllers. If you were playing that with a mouse, it might be a little bit more efficient because you can just like imagine if you're in the bottom left of a 8x8 square of tiles, getting to the top right takes a lot of
Well,
movements with
that's
a
the
D-pad.
thing. I think it was it was
Yeah.
it was D-pad, so you'd have to do either WASD or up, down, left, right on your keyboard, which you might be a little faster, but
I
that
think you
was
can use a mouse.
that was nuts because
It was just
I
dumb.
think if it was just the pipes, that would have been fine. But you start out with a blank canvas,
Yeah.
and you have to flip them over, and you have a chance of flipping over a broken pipe or something, so it's unusable, and you
Yeah.
have to rotate them. It was I hated it. I hated it.
And there's like plasmid upgrades, like engineering, I think was the segment of it, where you could reduce the number of broken pipes or like increase the time and all this. No, just give me that auto hack. I don't care. That component sucked. I like how Skyrim does hacking and stuff, where it's like you have a couple lockpicks and there's like a little bit of a. But I get it. They were trying to come up with their own version.
Yeah,
of that.
yeah. I think we've been playing. My wife and I have been playing in the last couple months the Hogwarts Legacy, and in that game you have like a magic spell for unlocking, but there is a mini game that's associated with it, and like even that one, how they handle it is basically like 2 rotating discs, and it works. So it gets kind of sensitive, but it's intuitive. There's not really a time limit. It's fine. The old some of the Assassin's Creed ones, you do lock picks and there'd be like an image of a key or something. So there's a bunch of ways to do it, but I think how they tried to execute it with Bioshock was not the way to go.
I think they were
It
trying to
was-
make it feel like you're actually hacking, kind of, instead of just But
By moving
I hated
water
it.
through pipes.
I hated
Yeah.
it.
If
It's Rapture, dude. I don't know. Everything's
Yeah.
steampunk, bro. Come on.
But I don't know, when I hear the word hack
Mm-hmm.
is different from hearing like unlock, right? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking computers, technology, and all that. And then you have,
1959.
yeah, I know, but even then, you're getting your hack is connecting 2 pipes with fluid. That's weird. That doesn't.
Hated it.
That if you're gonna cite, oh, that's steampunk, that's weak.
Speaking of 1959 and steampunk, there were grenade launchers like turrets in the game, and they were basically tennis ball shooters.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Oh man, there was one a turret that got me real good. It got me real good. It was like behind a wall, and there was this broken bit of the wall that it was shooting through,
Yep.
and I didn't see it in time, and it ripped me a new one.
The Electro Bolt Plasmid was really good for that because it had a big kind of AoE effect whenever you hit something. So it would knock the turrets out, and then you could go smack them with a wrench or hack them, which I didn't do ever. There
Yeah,
was
I
very
hacked
early.
the-
Go ahead. Sorry,
I hacked the drone once or twice, and
Oh,
those were
God.
helpful.
dude. They were helpful if you were playing a game on mute. They were the most annoying sounding thing I think I've ever heard in my life.
hmm
I'm trying to stay family friendly here, but I'm getting mad just thinking about it, dude.
Yeah, they were
Just
pretty
this
bad.
constant like sound following you around all the time. I hate it. It was loud. It was annoying. It was like almost headache inducing. I didn't like it. So I would just smash them down with a wrench. That's I think another thing. The wrench was really seemed like it was really effective on like cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I would always be wrenching.
always be wrenching. I think once I got guns, I rarely went back to the wrench. The camera, oh my goodness. The security cameras that were around,
Oh
those
yeah.
got me so much. And every time you get spotted by one, if you're spotted for long enough, it sends the fleet of drones,
Yep.
which are like no joke, like what, 15 drones will end up showing up?
It's a minute straight of just drones.
Yeah.
I hated it, dude. I hated it so much that I think I developed my own strategy for dealing with all that. You get caught by a camera, smash it with a wrench. That's the solution to everything. But then you've got a minute of drones. So shock the drones and run away. They fall on the ground and they'll come back to you, but it'll give you about 15 seconds of nothing because they're on the ground. Run away, then they have to catch up to you. It gives you a little bit of time. And then get the engineering plasmid DNA changer things where it reduces the time by 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then there's another one where it makes it so the cameras take longer to call an alarm on you. So you can just, if you hear the noise go off, you have I always had enough time to just run up to it and smack it with a wrench.
Right.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool because I feel like that makes sense for that. Like it was kind of, yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I usually missed it in, like I just had.
Oh, yeah,
But there
always.
was the little red, like a little red area that it's monitoring, so you would see that a camera's there, and they sometimes rotate and all that. But I would always miss it, and come around the corner, bam, there it is.
Yep. I hated that, but you're supposed to hate them. They're supposed to be annoying, so it's okay. Like it's a good mechanic, but I've never had such joy smashing something with a wrench.
Talking about the turrets and everything, one of the things I don't like with some of these games when there's like a break in logic and it's either not explained fully or they kind of let you try to connect those dots yourself, and sometimes it doesn't quite connect for me. So the splicers and things can move around freely, and yes, it's their living space and all that. The turrets don't see them as enemies, right? But right when you come in the room, the turrets themselves know, oh, yep, that's a bad guy in the eyes of the turret. We got to take him down. Or the camera knows. Why does it know? Like, is there? I don't know. There's just something there for me that was kind of weird. So,
I mean, it's not, to me, it's not that far fetched for this game. I guess there's DNA splicing going on, so maybe the cameras can be assigned to track somebody with this specific DNA.
oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. I mean, the citizens are bad to you, but they live there. And Andrew Ryan, the guy that runs the city, has said multiple times like he's trying to stop you. He's like sick. He has sent the splicers after you. So maybe that's it.
Which is yeah, that's just so weird because that all makes sense, but it's so weird that in the storyline he's like, so after you crashed, it was a plane crash, and you're like trying to get shelter effectively,
Maybe. So, okay, we're gonna get into the big twist a little bit more. I know we already talked. I talked a little bit about it. The plane didn't crash, man. It was brought down. You are an
Really?
assassin for the guy that runs the city, made by the guy that's telling you to that's helping you supposedly. He raised you as a child with mind control stuff to assassinate the guy that runs the city. Like he's like doing the
What?
long con. Yeah, dude, the plot twist
Mind
got me.
blown.
It got me, dude. I feel like I see stuff coming from a mile away, and like my head exploded like it got smashed in with a wrench. When all that, like when I was like, it was crazy to me. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why he doesn't like you. That's why your plane happened to. And he even says, like in the monologue, he was like, did you happen to get brought down here? Like, was it? Did it just like you got lucky enough to crash right on top of my city? I don't think so. You know.
Wow.
Pretty cool, pretty crazy. I think that's like, I think
Oh,
that alone.
now I gotta finish it.
Yeah, dude. I think that alone is what made, because the rest of the game wasn't like insane. It wasn't like
Yeah.
that crazy original.
So then, what do the next games do? Oh man, I'm already going down that rabbit hole.
I think Bioshock 1 is like almost like a different version of Rapture. Like I think it's in the sky. I'm sorry, Bioshock Infinite, I think, is like in the sky. It's like a different entirely everything.
Mhm.
Bioshock 2, I think, is like we're going back to Rapture after all this happened. Because it's not explicitly stated that like Rapture imploded or sunk or anything. So I think that's what happens in the second one and third one.
It wasn't sunk. It wasn't Rapture like built underground on purpose.
Yeah, it was built in the ocean on purpose.
Okay.
So I don't think it fully exploded or imploded or whatever kind of underwater stuff occurs. I'm not a physicist. I don't think it fully happened like that at the end. I think you just
Right.
get out. I believe. I don't know. We'll find out in the second game because I think the second game is a direct sequel,
Okay.
but the third one is kind of a standalone.
Man, that's
So-
wild.
Yeah, pretty crazy, right? Like,
Huh.
it definitely surprised me. And then the last boss of the game is the guy that's been helping you the whole time. He just like takes a bunch of Atom and becomes like this almost like godlike floating being who has access to like a bunch of different like plasmid type things.
Oh.
And you have this big daddy suit on, and you're this big clinking like gigantic thing, and you have to take him on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
yeah.
I'm really upset. I'm really upset.
Did I
the
ruin
game-
it?
No, I'm usually okay with spoilers and stuff, but I think because I'm kind of operating off of like the game in my
Yeah.
eyes kind of glitched for me, so it's like I couldn't continue due to a gaming issue.
Right.
So it's a little frustrating. It's not like I got frustrated and like stopped. I stopped because I couldn't put the extra time to sit there and try to fix it.
Yeah.
And oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I feel I'm sorry. I wish you could have experienced it. This is when I wish we could have like couch co-op played it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even but and then there's multiple endings for it too, depending on what you do to the little sisters.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're not crazy different, but I guess if you save all of them, that's the canon ending.
Okay.
From what I looked into, I watched the other endings as well. They're not a good happy ending kind of thing.
Right.
But
Interesting.
you'll see all that and more when you finish it. Um
Oh man.
there was I saw you had sound quality in your note, and I really want to talk about it because what I want to know what you have to want to know what you got to say about that.
Well, no, I would just as a side note, that was me trying to come up with just something to talk about, but
I'll talk
also
about it.
a general like we should for like the beginning of the episodes, we should probably be like, how did the game function and stuff, and
Okay.
and like so yeah, with the sound quality, I thought it was good.
I hated it.
Well, okay, so quality itself, I think it was here nor there. The sounds to enhance the atmosphere of the game, being creepy and underwater and all the weird sounds that the Splicers made and all that was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I think it was pretty
Oh.
run of the mill.
Banter.
Yeah, the turrets being frustrating was, that was not great. But I think the sound enhanced the atmosphere of the game. Is where
I'd say
coming
it
at.
enhanced the atmosphere. There was like even a part where you hear like a whale,
Yeah,
and you look up and there's a whale swimming above you in one of the little tunnels. But I got so sick of hearing like these 1959 hoity-toity people talking, and they're like just constant noise, but they're not around. And it didn't feel like it was well optimized. Like you couldn't tell if they were closer to you or further away.
I got you.
You would just hear like somebody yelling something very proper at you all the time. It was almost like just destructive to listen to.
I think it translated to me because I did wear headphones for this. Were you on the Steam Deck?
I played everything. Like I played Steam Deck, I played a little bit on my actual PC, I played some in front of the TV, and then I played some with headphones in. Like
Right.
so yeah, I think the Steam Deck audio with headphones was probably like a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
Playing on the TV, I think I had like better sound in general. But
Right. So yeah, I played mostly with headphones. So I don't know. I guess it translated to me of it being kind of a little chaotic on purpose because
I think it was supposed to, and
like the wharf specifically. Like I think at one point in the wharf docking area, there was maybe like 15 combatants. So like they were all interspersed or like around there, right? So it was pretty chaotic. So I think that's probably what it translated to me. It was intentional, but
yeah, it was. I think they did a good job creating like it was a semi-linear game, and it worked really well with the environment because you're underwater. So you're like the claustrophobic feel makes really good sense. They did a good job utilizing that claustrophobia in the setting as well, like while maintaining a sense of linearity. An open world game in that setting would feel really dumb.
yeah, I don't know if they could do Bioshock how they have it now as far as with Rapture and everything being open world. I don't think it would work.
I think maybe the third one is probably. I feel like that one came out in the era where every game had to be open world and expansive.
Right.
But again, I think it takes place like in the sky, and I think that will work out okay.
Is it just a different city, or is it like a complete reimagining of Bioshock?
I think it's a different city entirely. Maybe the same concept of like you can do whatever, there's like less government intervention and stuff.
Right.
It's like yeah.
Okay.
There was a couple things too. I liked. I don't know if you caught this very often, but there were times where the shadows of the enemies were like ever present, and you could see like you could utilize the shadows to your advantage. The lighting effects of the game were top notch, especially for the time. But I thought that was good.
Yeah, I'd say the lighting and graphics were better than the sound.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to. Yeah, I wish I could think of like a quote that the woman said. Like, I feel like there was like a woman specifically that would just constantly be yelling something at me, very nanny-like, and it would get so annoying. And then there was another part where this guy would like kept singing the like "Jesus loves me, yes I know," for the Bible tells me so, and I heard it like 4,000 times.
That's amazing.
But I know it's also like you shot Marcello. Like how many times did we hear that when we used to play? So like there's a limitation. There's only so many quotes in a game.
Oh my god.
But we used to play the crap out of that. What was that? Rainbow Six Vegas. But yeah, that like there's only so many voice lines that can play. But if you're in one area and you hear the same thing like over and over and over and over and over and over.
What was the one where they shouted grenade?
Granada. Yeah. There's also like another thing. This is very irrelevant. I know we got to wrap it up soon, but I think every Tom Clancy game has the same character in it. There's like a guy in it that's in every single game. I heard this somewhere. It's irrelevant. I'm sorry. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
I played. I told you I played a little bit on the. You played only on the like with a controller.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy how much easier this game felt using a mouse and keyboard. It was
Really?
wild. Oh, dude. There were parts that I replayed and I didn't even, I think the whole game was balanced, felt like it was balanced around PC, at least because I was playing a PC version with a controller and so were you. But
Right.
maybe there would have been more present auto aim or something on the like Xbox console back in the day.
True.
I don't know. But yeah, the game just felt it was easier to dodge everything too on mouse and keyboard. But one thing, if anybody ever plays this on Steam Deck, it was crazy how optimized this game was. I could play for 4 hours on the Steam Deck with the battery at 60 frames, max settings, which is just crazy.
That is pretty wild.
I mean, I don't think a laptop battery would even last that long, but
No. Mine unplugged. My laptop lasts about an hour when I'm running games.
well, that's I believe that. That's laptops in general. They're supposed to be portable, but they're really just small computers. Was there anything else you want to add? I know we got to wrap. We should wrap it up.
No, I don't think so. I think I at least for me, I'm sure you probably feel the same way. We would recommend this game to play. My issue is a little extenuating circumstances, so my playtime got cut short. But I definitely would still recommend it. It was a good game. I definitely think it's at least I'm hoping it's leading into a really good series that I haven't played before. So I'm hoping to finish out the story or at least experience it some way, and then hopefully set us up for the next set in the series and just keep going.
Yeah, well, either way, I'm gonna definitely play through. I've heard the second one isn't. It's like a different studio makes it, I think, so it wasn't as highly. It still has good reviews and everything, but I don't think it had the charm necessarily. I think it's more gameplay, less intriguing thought type of thing. But I'm looking forward to playing the other ones of it. We'll put some time in between because it's not the Bioshock podcast. But one thing I wanted to, I said a man. What the heck was it? There was another quote. I know I said the other one before that was like a big thing, but a man chooses, a slave obeys. There was another one that I thought was cool. I saw it on a loading screen. It was from Andrew Ryan, the guy that created the Rapture. It wasn't impossible to build a city under the ocean. It was impossible to build Rapture anywhere else.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty true. Like, a city like that in in 1959, there's no way you could do that in like New York City. But like, yeah, you go out in the middle of the ocean. That sounds impossible to build a city out there, but what's really impossible is to build that city anywhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's pretty
I
cool.
thought it was kind of a neat thing, but
I like that.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
To build a city at the bottom of the sea, insanity. But where else could we be free from the clutching hand of the parasites? Where else could we build an economy that they would not try to control, a society that they would not try to destroy? It was not impossible to build Rapture at the bottom of the sea. It was impossible to build it anywhere else.
A bit of a format change. So normally what we've been doing since we started was every other episode we would come each with a game that we would announce, and we would play both of those, and then we would record, and that's looking to be a bit chaotic for us. So
yeah,
me especially, that's what happened with both Ori and Bioshock. Is I was trying to juggle two, and life got in the way, and that's a lot, right? And it took away a lot of the enjoyment. So I think what we're going to be doing is now at the end of each episode, we're going to announce the next game and the next game alone. But we'll still be alternating, so you'll bring one from your backlog, and then I'll bring one from my backlog. And if they sync up, great, but we'll both play those games as we have been, but we'll just be tackling one game at a time, so we can hopefully come in with, really genuine, lively discussion
right
afterwards.
My game is a secret.
So my game,
I haven't figured it out yet.
So it's going to be my turn. Now, Bioshock was mine, so I guess I'll be doubling up on my selection.
That's okay. Yeah.
But I know it's a game that you and I both have been looking forward to, and I don't know if it was already on yours, but it was already on my backlog.
It was not on mine.
No. Okay, so it is going to be one that I'm bringing to the table. So it's going to be Death Stranding. At the time of us recording this, it had just hit the Epic Game Store as one of their free games of the week. So we actually hopped on there, both grabbed it, and it worked out because I actually didn't own this game ahead of time, but it was one of those because I'm real bad about like buying a game. If I'm going to buy it, I'm going to play it. So it's hard for me to spend that money. So, but it was free, so this is great. So I'm getting one that was already on my backlog that I just hadn't gotten to purchase yet. So it was more of a wish list item. So yeah, we're going to run through that. And I think the playtime was...
We're going to walk through that.
20 plus hours?
Dude, it's like 30, man. And
Okay.
yeah, we're not going to run through it, man. We're going to walk through it, and you'll figure that out.
So, there's a good chance this will be... that episode might be a little longer. We're, formatting is still new for us, so definitely leave us some comments. Give us some feedback. We're really in the stage of our little project here where we need that feedback. So please let us know. But with that, that's going to wrap us up for our discussion on Bioshock. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a good one.
Catch you next time.
Thanks so much for listening. That wraps up our discussion for Bioshock Remastered. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know with a thumbs up, comment, or sharing with your friends and family. If you're able to do so, play along with us. We'll post upcoming games to our social media and what games are up next at the end of each episode. Our next game is Death Stranding. This has been 321 Backlog by Alec L. and James T. Our show music is Liftoff by Amy Waters. You can find this song and more of their work at amywaters.bandcamp.com. You can connect with us on any of our social media pages and by sending us an email at 321backlog@gmail.com. Until next time.